So before everyone leaves, at the very end, Patch My PC will share a handful of shirts. So you have to stay through my session. You have to endure my session just for a few, probably 10 minutes, about 10 minutes. And I just want to, do the closing keynotes. Thank you, everyone. And after that, Patch My PC will come on stage there, and they will hand over Ben somewhere, and then they will come and just hand over, they just have a few T-shirts. And for that. So quickly, I just answer a few questions that have been asked so far, and I want to make sure I recap very quickly what is PSConfEU, why do we have PSConfEU, and how can you help PSConfEU, and then about feedback. So first, a few questions have been asked. Can I buy an extra mug? Can I buy a previous year's mug? I'm afraid we can't sell anything, we don't have a license to sell things, so no, you can't buy anything. I don't even have the last mug, unfortunately, but I have this year's mugs. Obviously, we have a few spares, but unfortunately, we can't sell them, so we will keep them, and maybe one day we'll be able to sell some extras for those who broke their mugs. Not good. Is there a PSConfEU shirt this year? No, there were not. There was no shirts, and there's a good reason for that. Is because of the pandemic. We knew that everyone would come very late registering, and then when you create shirts like this, you need to know in advance how many you will need, and we want to reduce the waste as well. So we just couldn't make a shirt for this year, and hopefully that's going to change for next year. When will the recording be available? Yes. We don't know. So we will obviously thank you a lot. Thank you for all the AV guys because they've done an amazing job. Thank you. In my experience, it's been really smooth, especially not having to deal with this. And the sound is great, everything's great, but now we will have to cut everything, add the intro, the outro, make sure we create an intro and an outro before that. And then we will be able to publish everything to GitHub, to YouTube. So if you want a date, I can say probably it's going to be done before the 1st of October. Probably sooner than that, but I just don't want to give you anything else because that means we will have to do it. So probably 1st of October latest. Will there be a PSConfEU 2023? You tell us. Do you like it? Do you want to come back? Do you want something else? Yes. So where will PSConfEU 2023 take place? So it will be, no, I'm just kidding. We don't know. We don't know yet. There's a lot of things that goes on, and then we need to do more research about where we can have it. Will it be here? Honestly, probably not. Before it was in Hanover, and it could be in Hanover because Tobias was organizing in Hanover and lived there, so that was easier. Where I live, there's fields, but there's not really a conference center anywhere close or any easy way to do it. So I can't really do it in my back garden. So for me, it's easier to do it somewhere like this. Vienna was an amazing city to organize it, so we'll find something else as well. And it could be Vienna. I honestly don't know. It could be the same place. I honestly don't know. And people usually ask, can PSConfEU be, come to my town because I don't want to travel. It would be really nice if it was, in my own town. Unfortunately, we don't know. Again, there's a lot of things that goes into it. And first thing is we need to be able to, welcome 300 people. And the venues usually are booked, pretty much in advance. Last time we had not even 1 year to organize it, so it was a little bit difficult. And now we have slightly over 1 year, so about 1 year for the next one, maybe a bit easier, but everyone is trying to create a conference again. So that's most of the FAQ, and if you like the sessions, we're asking all the speakers to put everything on GitHub, and this is where you can find it. It's probably going to take a few more days for the speakers to go back home and then commit everything, create a pull request, but there's already a few of the materials over there. And if something is not there, open an issue, ask for that for your speaker, say, hey, please, can you make sure it's there? And then we'll try to chase them or to show them that it's there. I'll give you 1 more second. There we go. So what is PSConfEU? So where it started, there were some events before that, but I would say maybe in Europe, it really started in 2014, where we were in Amsterdam, and the PowerShell Summit Europe, organized by people from America, from the UK as well. They said, okay, we have a conference in the US, let's do one maybe in Europe. And they tried and did that really well for a couple of years, started growing, but it was really hard for them to create that, across time zones. So after that, Tobias said, well, if you're not doing it anymore, we need to make sure it stays alive. So Tobias just stood up and said, I will do one and I will start doing it in Hanover. And I actually ran for it for quite a long time. And then, yes, thank you, Tobias. So then 2016, also the funny thing is some people I've met in 2014, they still come to those conferences. And then I still, I'm always happy to see them. And then I've met new friends every year. And probably you started, those who arrived, and for those, it's the first year. Maybe you will say, hey, you're here, Stan, first time I saw you like in 2014, this is where we met, in Amsterdam. So you will make new connections and you will really create new friendship. And then hopefully this will carry on. Tobias took over so in 2016 and then did a few years in Hanover, and obviously 2020 had to be online and then 2021 had to be cancelled. And then at that point it was really hard to go back to Hanover because of the problem with the venues. So that's why Tobias said, well, I can't really do it if it's not really in Hanover. So I said, well, I will try to take over. And you are here today, so thank you, because it's thanks to you that we manage also to do it. Yes, thank you. And that's also thanks to them. Hey. It's been 1 year. For 1 year. So what you see is the tip of the iceberg, We've been working through this for a long, long time. And it's been 1 year that we had lots of evenings where we had to, meet up, synchronize, make sure we have the same vision. And then we could carry on with the same conference that everyone loves. So Tobias was not there anymore. He had to take an early flight today. But he created the recipe. And then I tried to copy the recipe, but I had the help of them. And then they managed all the content because I just couldn't do a new conference for me and also the content. So they really manage everything about the content. And thank you for that. Do you want to say a word?
I just got one thing to say. If you remember the keynote, we started off with talking about being inspired from all of these sessions that you go to go and create great things. Please go create great things and share them.
I would like to thank you, Gael, for taking a huge risk, because it was super risky this year, really. And it was just amazing how much energy he put in all of this. And I think that you can all agree that the conference ran really smoothly with just a couple of little issues, nothing major, and that we had a great time for the previous 3 days and this day included as well. And another thing, I would like to thank all the first-time speakers.
Yes.
This year is probably the year when we had the most of them, as the kind of new guys that probably never, and girls that never speak before. And that was really awesome. I really am super happy that they all get a chance, and I think that they delivered amazing sessions, that you all enjoyed them. So hopefully next year we will have someone of you that are now with the green linear as an attendee to be on the stage as well. Thank you.
And I'll add also Patrick. Patrick had to leave as well early today, but Patrick was really in the shadow, telling us everything about Austria. Obviously, we organize everything remotely. So I'm based in Switzerland, and we're all based in different countries. So we had to ask a lot of information, and Patrick was always here for us to answer the questions we had. So thank you, Patrick, as well. So, someone you probably have seen running around, and I really said, like, we haven't talked about Joe. So Joe's a friend of mine also, working for me for the conference, and really organized everything. And I didn't stress too much because he was stressing for me. So thank you a lot, Joe. And you can really tell from this picture he used to work in politics. He was organizer, he was event management in politics. So thank you a lot for the sponsors again. And this year we had like a very good turnout from the sponsors. We really tried to ask them, what do you like? What do you need? And really, we had a very good feedback, and they really came here, and that's thanks to them that we could organize this conference. Especially, when you buy your tickets, all the sponsors probably were already saying, yes, we want to be with you, we want to support you for PowerShell Conference Europe. So for the sponsors, thanks a lot. And all the speakers, I hope they inspired you. They still inspire me. And some of them here, actually, I was just a conference attendee those years ago, and I just learned from them. And it happened that just by accident, I became organizing a conference. But I'm still very thankful for them for all the effort. So we had to ask them to commit to speak a year ago. So they had to finish the CFP, the call for papers, mid-December. And if you remember mid-December 2021, there was a pandemic going on. So you have to ask them, yes, you will need to come. And then at the same time, you need to commit to come. You need to do 2 sessions, which is a lot of work to prepare. Let's be honest. And then at the same time, it's like, we had no idea how the pandemic would evolve and things like this. The rules, we had to say, these are the rules we have to implement, so the masks and vaccination. And I'm really happy that everyone actually stuck to the rules, and still today, everyone is masked, except me, obviously, because I'm speaking. But otherwise, that was really good. So thank you again for all the speakers, and please come back, and please create new speakers for the next time. Be inspired, and then you can inspire others. Thank you. And we talk about taking risk, but actually we take the risk at the beginning, and then when we see people signing up, people being interested, communicating, asking questions, is there going to be a PowerShell Conference Europe next year? Even someone says, oh, we would like to see this, we would like this session about, or maybe doing something different next year. That means you're interested, and that means we can probably continue giving something that you would like to have. So we need you to tell us what you want to see, also to participate and contribute in the way you can, which could be just telling us what to do and what to do better. But also it could be you submitting for the call for paper, or just, be part of the PowerShell community. That's all it takes. The bigger the community, the more chances we have, and it's the less risk we take when we create a conference like this, because there's more people we can reach out to. So be excellent to each other, please. Help each other. Contribute to what you use, so whether it's through an issue, question, tips, video, whatever works for you. And please try to grow the community. Join the virtual PowerShell community. You've seen, for instance, the PowerShell community code is one of them. You can go on the Slack, and I will put a link in a second. And also try to help the local community. For some people, it's harder to come to this kind of event. Try to reach to them locally. Do a meetup, maybe in your language. And something local. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be very often. Don't try to do every week. Don't try to do every month. Maybe every 3 months. Try to be regular. Create a habit. And that will help everyone in the community. Finally, so this is the PowerShell chat. So if you haven't seen it, aka.ms/ps/Slack, or if you prefer to use Discord, aka.ms/ps/Discord. Most of the speakers are already there. The PowerShell team or the guest config team, some of them. We've seen the problem with this shirt. That's the best shirt. It happened before. No, it's not just me. So please join the PowerShell chat, and then yeah, help us reach everyone. I had an email again today saying, oh, I didn't know about PowerShell Conference Europe. I live in Austria. If I knew, I would have joined, But we can't go door to door and say, hey, did you know there's a PowerShell Conference Europe going on? So we need you to help us, spread the word. Talk to your colleagues, talk to the people you meet to say, if they're interested in PowerShell, tell them just that we exist. Share the session recordings, so everything will be on YouTube, so anyone can access the content. You've seen through these 4 days that the content is just a tiny part of what the conference is about. That's why we have no problem putting that on YouTube. You take much more when you are in person and then talking to the PowerShell team, talking to the speakers, and talking between you, experts of the PowerShell. Or maybe not experts, so you don't see yourself as experts, but you're doing PowerShell. So this is what's important, is to share and collaborate. So if you want to get to follow us and know about us, obviously Twitter is something that we use. It's easy to reach a lot of people. If you're not following PSConfEU on Twitter, you can use that one. Give you a second. And then if you want to find where the YouTube videos will be posted, it's on the PowerShell Conference EU channel. And if you prefer to use LinkedIn, this is the LinkedIn page that we have. We also share all the news over there. You can join us, so then whenever you want to find about us, what we're doing, when the video will be released, we will announce here. So if you subscribe on the YouTube as well, obviously you will be notified when we are releasing it. All right, feedback. We know not everything was smooth. We tried to be as smooth as we could, but the first day, Wi-Fi didn't really work well. And that was the HCP, it's always something. DNS was maybe day 2, that's another problem. The vegan food wasn't great. Like, we had feedback about this. We tried to improve, but it's very hard, especially a bit new as well. So next time, we know that we need to focus on that. There's no way to provide session feedback. So because of the COVID, lots of event apps, the one we used before, they actually stopped working, or they were not really ready to do events anymore. So we couldn't provide a way for the speakers to get direct feedback from you. So we couldn't do that this year. Really, we hope that next year we will fix that, so then you can give direct feedback to all the speakers that we will have. The complex rules, the COVID rules, it's complex, but I'm really happy for everyone following them, being mashed up, not really arguing and understanding that we had to do this because we started selling in January, and before that, we haven't told the speakers, what the rule would be. So thanks a lot for that. And we had some questions about the session timing, the 30 minutes plus 15 minutes format, so 15 minutes for Q&A. Before, we had a lot of issues, and that's the 45 minutes is the maximum we can allow. So then we have a coffee break, which is really important, so then you can talk to your speakers, and we can change speakers in the meantime. We went for the 30 plus 15 minutes. That's a guidelines. It's a strong guidelines. And it's the first time that actually all the speakers almost respected it, which is great. But, we start learning, and then we will try to improve as well. But at the same time, that also forces the speaker to be very precise and very condensed, and not just rambling like I'm doing right now. So you see? So they prepare. And also, if you do 2 long sessions, that's a lot of work for every speaker. And then some people ask for longer deep dives. And yes, that's a very good point. But how do we deliver longer deep dives? Because we need to balance short snippets of information that you can digest and maybe something more in-depth. So that's why we have a feedback form, and we would really appreciate if you can go into that. And then it's very simple and open text. You can just go and then tell us everything you want to know. And we read, like, if you have other ideas, put there, oh, I forgot to update the form. Give me 1 second, I forgot to update the form. But yes, I will just update the form, so give me 5 minutes after that, and I will just update the form, because at the moment it's one-liner answers, but I really want you to give me as much details as you can. So you can take picture. I will share it again, and we will share it on Twitter as well, so then everyone knows, Twitter and the others. And thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for, getting your tickets, for participating. And thanks again. Hopefully, see you next year. And I don't know exactly where, but see you there. Thank you. Where's Ben? I think you're good.
Yes. Is this working? So apparently I think that VB is better than PowerShell. My dear friend and colleague Scott went out and made some shirts because we all love free shirts. So we have 20 of them, probably a lot less than that now. Come and see us. We'll hand them out.